Peace of mind means everything. Some might say it can be even more valuable than gold, more valuable than all the riches in the world. Now see, just think back of a relationship of the past, a marriage of the past. Think of how miserable you was being with that other person. How often you felt like you had to adapt and maneuver your comfortability and your way of living just because it was embedded in you that you wanted that other person to be happy. You wanted that other person to be happy first. You just naturally thought like that. And then as the years go by, you find that, you know what? Now all of a sudden, I'm not happy. Then again, you start to think, is it all of a sudden? Maybe I haven't been happy for a very, very long time. Maybe this is the case. But before you get to that point, you start to think, okay, what am I doing? Is it something I'm doing or not doing? Maybe this union would be more blissful if I change this or change that, put more effort into this or put more effort into that, not realizing maybe it wasn't you at all. Maybe it was never about you. Now, obviously, I can only speak from a guy's point of view, because I too have gone through that a time or two in the past. But you learn as you're going through these journeys. You learn. Sometimes you have to learn the hard way in order to get the message. Especially depending on how you're wired. You might be wired to the point where you have that thought in your head like, you know what? I can fix this. Is it something I'm doing? Cool. Let me try to communicate with this person more. Let me try to be more direct and communicate with this person more. But a lot of times you'll find, especially in this modern day and age, there's a lot of women out there who are not emotionally mature. Emotionally mature to where, as an adult, you talk things out, you work things out. They're not on that level, which is why you'll notice that a woman would never love a man the way a man loves her. Y'all seen the meme floating around online at one time or another. A man will sacrifice his happiness to make for the family, or to make the family happy. Will sacrifice his happiness to make everybody happy, to make the family happy. But a woman will sacrifice her family to make herself happy. Especially now, in the times we live in. 50 Cent, he's on his journey now, and from all intents and purposes, it's sounding like he's jumped back into the single game because he has goals he wants to accomplish. And the woman he was with, she's very beautiful, but obviously it's more to it than that. And you're noticing there's a lot of that going on. Guys are starting to choose themselves over going out of their way to make somebody else happy. And this includes the women that we, and yes, I say we, it includes the women that we are with. Whether it's the woman we're dating or the woman we are married to. No longer are we willing to suffer in silence. It gets to a certain point where we just like, oh well, we have things to accomplish. We have other things that we're setting our sights on, that we're focused on, and you no longer fit in the picture. So, ladies, if you notice after certain conversations or certain fallouts you've had with your man, and you know over the years after you've had fallouts with your man, break up to make up, there have been times that you have blocked him, and then after a little bit of time passes, you unblock him. You guys pick up right where you left off, and then all of a sudden you try the same method one too many times, and then you find that you try to come back and step into that man's life again, and all of a sudden you realize he's different. It's almost as if he's not trying at all. He's not putting any effort at all. What's going on? What's different now? You know what's different now? That man is finally tired of your shit. That's what's different now. He views you completely different than he once did. And now he pretty much does not care at all. He's probably to the point where you could, whether you try your silent treatment or whether you want to block him or unblock him or whatever, it might be to the point where you could see that man face to face in person somewhere. And he might straight up view you as a complete stranger. He might see you and don't see you. He might be to the point where you no longer exist in his world. See, that man mentally has checked out. All his energy and effort has now made that transition into whatever goals and plans that he has set out for himself. Because see, at that very point in time, to be blunt about it, that man don't give a shit about you anymore or anything that you have going on. Cause see, it gets to the point where a man decides maybe monk mode is my thing. Maybe that's where I belong. Maybe this is where I belong so I can get done what I need to get done. So I can do what I want to do. And have no distractions and no interference. Things that normally in the past would drag me down and distract me from my goals and what I need and want to do, I no longer have to worry about that. See, this is the metamorphosis of a man's mind that a lot of women, especially modern women and old school women who now think in a modern woman type of way because it's the hot new thing now. It's what's in, it's the fad that's sweeping the nation. They can't comprehend what's going on, why men are thinking the way they're thinking right now. See, men never had a problem living alone, being alone. That's the perfect time for us to have peace of mind, because that's ultimately what we always seek anyway, is peace of mind. We are at our most creative when we have peace of mind. That's when we are at the peak of fresh, new ideas. Things that we can implement in whatever plans and goals that we have. It is the best time of our lives. If you can't hear me, you better start trying to. Because it can save your relationship. It can save your marriage. You see, a lot of women today, they could care less about understanding the man that they're with. But y'all gonna learn the hard way, because you'll end up understanding that man more and more as he starts to walk away from you into the blissful distance. The bigger the distance between you and him, the better that man feels. But you ain't trying to hear me, but you will feel me one way or another as time passes. Yes, you will hear me and you will feel me. And then, all of a sudden that man wakes up and he realizes, shit, I no longer have to care about somebody's birthday. I no longer have to care about Valentine's Day. Going to this get together, that get together. I didn't realize how much more peaceful my life has become. Wow. And for some of you that have been in stressful marriages, stressful relationships, you'll notice those chest pains that you used to get on a regular basis. All of a sudden, mysteriously, almost overnight, you no longer get those chest pains. You no longer feel that hypertension. You no longer have high blood pressure. Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. What has changed in my life to where I feel so much better now? Then you sit down and you start to brainstorm, but it doesn't take long. You don't have to think too long about it. You know what the common denominator is. What have you subtracted from your life that has allowed you to breathe so much freer, to think so much clearer? What has happened to bring you to this point in time to where you feel so much more peaceful? You know what it is. subtraction of that one person. It's the best feeling in the world. Peace of mind. Fellas, and I used to think the same way, especially you young brothers out there. A lot of you want to live with these women and you think, well, as long as I have my own car, I'm cool. I can get around, I can do what I need to do, I can do what I want, and everything will be fine. Until you get to that point where you have that disagreement, that argument with that woman. Then you come home and you like, before you get to the house, you like, damn, I don't even want to go up in here. But you live there too. All of a sudden that stress, that hypertension, that all the things that I mentioned earlier starts to build up in you. So you sit in your car for a little bit longer. And for a brief moment, you think to yourself, thank God I got a car. I can just get away. And it's understandable to an extent that you would think that way. But you know what will be even better, 10 times better? And certain aspects of it you're not gonna like. It will irritate you, but in the long run, you will be thankful that you chose that other avenue. What is the other avenue? The other avenue is, okay, you might not have a car, but you know what? You got your own crib. Living alone will bring you so much more peace of mind you can't possibly imagine. So I tell all the young brothers out there this. If you're going to make the choice between the two, between having a car and your own place, choose your own place. It's nothing like it. Trust me. If I could go back in time and talk back to my 18-year-old self, my 21-year-old self, my 22, 23-year-old self, oh yeah, you better believe I would have made that choice 100 times over, 100%. The older you get, the more you're gonna realize peace of mind is the most important thing in the world, men. Never sacrifice that for any woman, for anybody, period. Start looking out for yourself. Put yourself first from now on. Put your goals first. The things you need to do and take care of, put those things first. It's 2024. This is the new stance we gonna take, brothers. Men of all nationalities. This message is for you. It's for all of you. All of us need to walk in the same direction. The peace of mind direction. It's nothing like it. Enjoy it. You'll thank me later. That being said, I'm out.